What's up, you guys? This is another episode of Healing from Trauma. And I'm your host with the most, straight off the mental press, trying to give you my motherfucking best, Drea Boo. Alright. Yes. Okay, alright. So boom. First and foremost, I want y'all to know that I know this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, which is sharing and caring and conversing and engaging, and even if it means talking to my motherfucking self, I like it here, okay? I like it here a lot. And I don't know how many people listen to this podcast, but I want y'all to know, man, just motherfucking man. Okay, so first and foremost, I did an episode in my head which was about to be over, and I'm going to tell you why I think Satan and Don Julio don't mix. Because they some tricky motherfuckers. So, mind you, I done smoked my blunt, I done took my double shot, I'm vibing on the podcast, I'm talking to y'all, I'm expressing myself, I'm just feeling it, you know what I mean? So I see that I was talking for 25 minutes. I'm like, all right, bet, that's not long enough. I'm going to do at least 35, 40 minutes, right? Because how I've been feeling and what this is called, Healing from Trauma, right? Right. So that's what I was going to give y'all. What's going on in my motherfucking mind as we speak. You know what I mean? Because I haven't done an episode, and I don't know how long. This is episode 47. I should be on episode 167. However, you know, things go the way they go. So boom, I'm like, okay, 25 minutes in, bet. So I'm talking, and I know how long I can talk, and I know I was talking for another 20 something minutes. Tell me, why the fuck was it not recording? No, but seriously, I was recording, and at some point I must have hit the button that stops it and pauses it. So I can either continue to talk and now that I'm talking about it out loud, I do remember me hitting that button. I think I was about to cough or something like that, and I must have never hit the button. But girl, dude, boy, girl, they, them, y'all, I was fucking going. I mean, going. And I thought I was fucking hysterical. Now, here I am starting all the fuck over. And you couldn't even pay for what I was just saying because it was so... like straight off the brain, off the press, hot and ready, Caesar's edition. Like, it was crazy because I'm thinking about what I was saying. I'm like, bro, there's no way I can duplicate that. There's no fucking way. Y'all ever been high and just been like talking about what's on your mind, and then you're like, what the fuck was I talking about? But what you were talking about was deep as fuck, or made you be like, nah, I'm talking that shit right now. Ooh, Jesus. I'm like, I don't know who's responsible. Me, Satan, or my guardian angel. Was I about to piss some people off? I don't know. But I know majority of what I was talking about. And what I was talking about is maintaining your faith and how difficult that can be. And my feelings on religion and the Bible. Alright, so we're going to start with the Bible first. And I'm so mad because my mouth is getting dry. Okay, I literally was talking for damn near an hour straight. And for some odd reason, it was not recording. And I can't spend this episode beating myself up. But I just want to let y'all know, the universe got me fucked up. Got me so fucked up. Okay, because it's like telling a good joke or dropping a freestyle, and the freestyle is hotter than what you wrote down on a piece of paper, but you can't repeat the freestyle because it was a freestyle fresh off the dome. So you're like, damn, that freestyle you did, that's like someone hearing me freestyle, they're like, damn, that shit was fire, like my brain is on fire because of that shit. And they're like, all right, I want to take you to the studio because I believe in you. And then turn around, you get to the studio, you talk about bibbity bobbity boop, who's in the scoop and got the loop de loop, the doop de doop. Like, damn, I was on fire. I don't know who was more mad, the universe or the one that's supposed to be against us for the rest of our lives until death do us part. And by death, I mean dead. Alright, so boom. The reason I'm doing this episode is because one, I miss you all. I miss talking to myself. I miss getting my journalism vibes going. I miss and this is more mental journaling for me. It's not even like I'm journaling. My other podcast, Since We're Here, that's more me journaling because I'm looking up stories, I'm comparing facts, and so forth and so forth. This is like my freestyle podcast. That's what I should have called it, freestyle podcast. But then a lot of people would have been mad because they would have thought it was about rap or music, and it has nothing to do with neither. Anyway, so boom. I was talking to myself about how I believe in God, but I have a strong, fucked up vibe about religion and the Bible. Why? Now, this time I'm not going to pause this bitch because y'all not about to trick me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I shouldn't have took that shot like a damn fool. Now, I'm about to take a sip of this Red Bull, and then we're going to get into it because I will not be pushing pause and fucking myself up again. All right. Now my mouth, excuse me if y'all heard that burp, but excuse me again. Now my mouth is not as dry. That Red Bull didn't do much, but anyway. So as I lay on my back and talk to you guys, and not like that, but as I lay down, because as you all know, I am working on making this a full production. However, I do not have a team as of yet. And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just know I pay for a motherfucking platform to run my motherfucking mouth because this is what I'm passionate about. And I feel that things that you love and that you're passionate about, you're going to always come back to. I've been writing since I was in 3rd grade. I used to journal. And now my daughter is 14 years old. And it blesses my heart just to hear through the grapevine, because I'm estranged from my children due to personal hatred, I guess. Anyway, not on my end. And I was told that she wants to go to school for journalism, and it just made me feel so good and wonderful. Like, oh my gosh, so that is my path. That's confirmation. If that's something my daughter want to do, she doesn't know me. She doesn't know what I'm into, what I like and been doing forever, even if it's not I'm not certified or degreed up in it, but I've been writing and being nosy all my life. But anyway, and I'm not saying that's all journalism is. I actually respect it, and I thought about going back to school for liberal arts and mass communication. I'm sorry. However, I have not been consistent enough in the steps to start or finish that project / process. Moving on. So what was I saying? Damn. I was talking about, okay. Oh, alright. So basically this podcast is because I just had a mental meltdown and I was talking to what seems to be myself and God. And I was just expressing how I mean, they say he know what we need and we don't have to continuously ask him for what we need because he also knows the number of the hairs on our head and blah, 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 blah. And I'm still sitting here like, well, Lord, why has it been years since I've changed my life, but I don't see any progress? And I'm trying to focus on you, but you know what I'm capable of mentally and physically. And if you know that I'm on the spectrum or whatever the case may be, why is it so hard to obtain what it is that I need to do? I've tried to be in my Bible app, which, again, I don't really fuck with the Bible like that. Because I fuck with it enough to know that the stories that are written are by man, which is flawed, and by flawed, I mean flawed. And I also mean that I am aware, and again, I'm sorry if you guys are hearing my fan. I am aware that those are stories that is written by men who experience either close encounters or whatever, or just telling a story. That at the end of the day, I feel like in 2024, we all can tell a story. If you've lost a child or lost a parent or you've been through financial strains or you whatever, because at the end of the day, what the frick, like the Bible is contradicting, and it doesn't make sense to the religion. It doesn't match to the religion. Now the religion shows you a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man, and the Bible says hair of wool. I've never seen a white man with hair of wool. And also it tells you to, and I forgot what book it is in, but I spoke about it in previous episodes, where in the Bible it says obey thy mother, obey thy father. No, it didn't even say why. It said husbands pretty much provide for your wives. It didn't even say be faithful. It didn't say don't be abusive. It just said provide for them. But for the wife, you're supposed to cook, clean, whatever. And for the kids, obey thy parent. And for the slaves, obey thy master. Skirt, pause. What are we talking about here? How the fuck is God going to tell me to obey? And it said obey thy earthly master, and you will be rewarded by your real master. Excuse the fuck out of me. So you're telling me that God knew that slavery and all this fucked upness was going to go on, and he wrote a book about telling us? That sound like Mr. fucking Johnson, okay, writing a book to his slaves and handing it out as pamphlets telling them this is what the Lord has for you, and if you don't abide by this, you're going to hell or you're getting beat to death. One of the two. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, what does make sense to me is how relatable the Bible is. But again, we all pretty much experience the same experience in this or prior lifetimes, right? Okay, the book, I don't know what book this was, but it was the book where Samson, y'all know him, the nigga that had long hair, he got backdoored by the girl and she cut his hair, then he lost his strength, and I don't know if she robbed him or what was the point of even cutting his hair besides him losing his strength, and then he went blind. And then he ended up pulling the pillars down, killing hella people. Alright, boom. That is a very relatable story. I am from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. There was a story of a guy who was sleeping in the bed, and he was at a female's house, and somehow the female allowed some other guys to come in and shoot this sleeping man in his head. What is that called? Backdoored. Exactly, right? So this young man was backdoored, and in the Bible, Samson was backdoored because he was lusting after a bitch that didn't give a fuck about him. The bitch slept with him, fucked him good, and cut his hair off and fucked him up for eternity, because basically that was the end of the story. The nigga's hair got cut, he went blind, and then he was in the fucking Coliseum of some sort, and he pulled down the pillars and killed everybody in the Coliseum. What the fuck did that do? Besides cause a lot of murders. Like, the Bible is just really not my favorite. I would rather read The Coldest Winter Ever. Now, the Bible does have interesting points. Of course, there is betrayal, there is incest, there is all types of taboos and bullshit that you're just like, I know this ain't the book God had for us to read to go by, because if so, it's giving an example how it seemed pretty turned to be sinful. You went from being sinful and getting fucked up to being forgiven of being sinful, and God mingled with Jesus mingled with all types of motherfuckers, the rich, the poor, the ugly, the broke. Oh, I said that already. Well, the rich, the poor, the prostitutes, the blind, the sick, all that. So I'm just so lost. And then it says be in the world but not of it. But when God turned, I keep saying God, but when Jesus turned water into wine, what was the point of that? Maybe I need to read that chapter over, because in that book, because I still want to know why would he make turnip juice, and how we know it was a cognac, how we know Adam and Eve, that wasn't a freaking, how we know that the apple or the fruit of the garden, whatever, how we know that wasn't sex related? Why is there so many cults that are sex related and sex driven? Like, there's a lot of freaking questions, even down to, I told y'all, I don't fuck with the offering. Now, I get funding programs that are in the church and, needing help from the community to make those programs succeed. However, I still can't get jiggy with me pulling up in a Volvo and the pastor pulling up in a fucking Rolls Royce. Like, nigga, what do you do? Truly, what do you do? And I do believe the man of God should be rewarded for his involvement of being a vessel of the word. I just don't feel that this motherfucker should be making 100,000 plus by just simply doing what God has called him to do, but reaping all the benefits and then turn out be a fucking child molester. I'm so lost. So, or turn out to be a scam artist, like that one pastor in New York. Like, why was he, like, this man was scamming old ladies, scamming the elderly out of their money, their life savings to do quote unquote the Lord's work, and then running off with the bread. Like, yeah, no. It's a no for me. No on religion. I believe in God. I love what I know of God and how I know God have showed up in my life and shown me that He is real. But that Bible shit is a little contradicting, and I'm not feeling that. And the religion shit, I'm still feeling a bit. I'm feeling that is like mental slavery. I feel like we should have been taught to be good people, to do good unto people, and do not expect or only think about being rewarded for doing good. That just is who you are in your nature. I'm with that rule. I'm with the honor thy father and mother, which means I love y'all, I respect y'all, but if you turn out to be a person that is not good for my mental health or my well-being, I will distance myself and not be not be harmed, or not reap consequences for quote unquote not honoring them. That is honoring them. I love them. I care about them. I'm not going to allow them to abuse me mentally or physically. That's bullshit. So that, and I don't know. Like I said, I feel the Bible was written by humans. Well, we know that the Bible was written by humans, and they had their experiences with God. Which if you know, you know. We've all had. Well, not we've all, but the ones who know. I've had my experience where I know God is real. I know there's no mother freaking way things have been said to me or done to me or around me that could tell me that science is what put us here. Science is what is the answer to everything. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, and that's bullshit. I want to drop the mic, but I'm not done. Any hooser. Yeah, but this episode was really stricken up because, one, my mother, I want to say shout out to her because she is amazing, as we are all flawed, and I have been very transparent about our relationship. I never wanted to get it misconstrued that I love my mom, and I know that she's here for a reason, and I pray that God keeps her here for many, many, many more years for said reason, not just me wanting her to be here, but for His purpose, because she does do the Lord's work. She volunteers at shelters. She is a nurturer and baker or cooker by nature. She's just all that in a bag of chips, and I love my mom, and I just want to put that on the record. So, boom. What was I saying about that lady? Damn, I forgot. Oh, okay. Yes, watching my mother, she's been very, very consistent. She's been very consistent with her jewelry line that she's invested to. It's called Paparazzi, and I've seen other people do it. I actually have another acquaintance that does it. Well, I said another acquaintance, but my mom and then an acquaintance. I met her in a technical school, and we've been friends on Facebook ever since. We've actually hung out a few times, but she is currently also working with Paparazzi selling their jewelry, and Paparazzi jewelry is only $5. Now, they do have pieces that cost more, but there's a abundance of pieces that are $5, and they are cute. It's giving mature vibes. It's giving if you could wear a neck whatever, a choker, you can wear it. Like, they have, I don't know, I've worn a choker or two in my life, but I don't even know if my neck is long enough for that. But anyway, no, they have nice jewelry. It's an acquired taste, as far as in if you are a jewelry piece inquirer, if you just like different pieces, you would love Paparazzi. But yeah, I've watched my mom start from doing I'm not gonna say doing nothing, that's wrong, but I've watched my mom to just I don't want to say sitting around either, but she just wasn't really walking in her purpose, and she's able now to not only do what she enjoyed doing, but doing what God has called her to do, which is ministering to people while selling jewelry. I mean, she's not scamming anyone, so shout out to Mom Dukes, because she is also the reason I've done this episode, because I don't know how long it's been since I've done an episode, but I truly enjoy expressing myself, talking to myself, and possibly dropping gems and jewels for some stranger to be like, you know what, she might have been talking a whole bunch of bullshit prior to, but I can dig that, or I could use that or apply that to my life. That's really my purpose. Is not to make anyone feel sorry for me or make anyone feel like they need to help me or any of that shit. There's actually a comedian. He did a skit. I think his name is Daryl Mays. I know it's Daryl, but I can't remember his last name. But he did a skit where he was depicting a guy in a car, and he was like, you could tell he was like going off and angry, and then he was the other guy in the car beside him, and he's like, playing the sad music, and he's looking all like, oh man, that brother looked like he going through something. So he beeps the horn and he rolls the window down. He tells the guy to roll the window down. The angry guy rolls the window down, and he's like, brother, I don't know what you're going through, but it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. God's got you, brother. And da-da-da-da. And you be blessed. And the guy looks at him and say, man, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody answering. How the fuck you going to know it's going to be better? How? You know it's going to be better? How you know? It's going to get better? You sure about that? Like, and then he just looked at it until then the Daryl just looked at him like, damn, I should have not said that. It just pulled off. And that's how life be for real. Like, I don't need y'all reaching out to be like, oh, are you okay? And I too suffer from autism, or I'm on the spectrum, or I have this going on, or I'm not. It's great for y'all to be relatable, and I would love to engage with people that want to talk about things, but don't reach out to me as a pity party or none of that shit, because I'm just going to look at it and be like, okay, like, only God can help me, only God can save me. And there's people that don't believe in God. This is another question. When I was in my, because I was like praying and talking to God, but I was ranting and breaking down at the same time. And this usually happens about once or twice a month, because it's just a void that is not there. And I would like to say it's my children, but I know it's also just trying to figure out what he wants me to do. What is my purpose? You get what I'm saying? So it stressed me out. But that's what I was asking God, like, what is the freaking point? Like, I have turned away from the things that was not benefiting me spiritually and physically, other than giving me money that was not even being, it was just no point, because it was just no point. Anyway, I was at this point with God, like, what is the reason? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, you allowed me to be in sin, super sin. I mean, all sin is the same size, but super sin is continuously doing without repentance and not thinking about your repercussions, just being a fool. Now, I was out there, I told y'all I used to strip and sell a little cooch catch, and that's what I was into. And when I was into that, I felt like I had so many good times, even when I was on the drug of coke. I had so many good times. And then here I am, I don't do coke, I don't sell snatch, I don't strip. I'm working a job that makes the least bit of money I've ever made in my life. And I got 3 cats, and I'm trying to do the right thing and not be that person. But yet and still, I'm still suffering financially. I have no fucking freedom. I have no friends out here. It's just like blah, bullshit. So it's like, okay, God, I'm frustrated now. You're saying in the Bible again, I don't fuck with it to a certain extent. It's talking about, oh, don't beg God. Don't pray to God about what you want. Just talk to God. Have a relationship with God. And he already know what you want. So why does it seem like I have to pray to God about what I want and what I'm asking for? What is manifestation if that's not praying to God and asking for things or envisioning things that you want? I'm just lost. Am I confused? Am I wrong? Because if that's the case, I think closed mouth don't get fed. Okay, I haven't begged God for nothing in a minute, and I've been begging for my children. Let's not get that fucked up. And I haven't got that at all. So okay, now I don't beg for my children. Now what? I still don't got them. So what the fuck is going on? It's not even like they're in the system. These are human beings that are keeping them away from me. Why aren't they living in fucking chaos and bullshit? Why haven't they changed their heart? I've changed mine. Well, I've changed my position in life. Why haven't they? Hatred is a hell of a drug, and these people are supposed to be Christians. What kind of shit is that? That's why I don't fuck with religion, because I feel like that's a crock of bullshit. It's just a way to control people's mindset, to believe in something, to get them to fork over their motherfucking money and act like they're good people when they're really fucked up, and to put on a facade of being covered by God and walking by God, but the whole time they're doing vindictive, malicious shit to people and getting away with it. That's bullshit. That's so fucking bullshit. You got pastors out here robbing old ladies all motherfucking month long. And what the fuck is going on in their lives? Meanwhile, the old lady's looking at eviction notices or a foreclosure because she's just giving to the Lord in the Lord's name. That's bullshit. Anyway, I don't fuck with the Bible like that. I look at the Bible for encouragement and relatable situations. That's it. That's all. I don't want to hear shit about no motherfucker that seen a burning bush tell me. If I told somebody I seen a burning bush, they gonna send me to the nut house. But I'm supposed to listen to a motherfucker and write it down in the book. Well, seen a burning bush and I heard a voice behind it, and the voice told me, what the fuck? I'm sure that same voice said slavery was going to last for 400 years and it was going to be alright. Fuck that. I don't fuck with the Bible. It's made by motherfuckers just like us. They not like us, but just like us. And religion is a cult. Look up the definition of cult. Religion is a motherfucking cult. And it is what it is. Take it for what you want. And what I believe in is that there is a higher being. I don't believe that science is why we're here. I believe that there is a God or an entity that is above all things past understanding, and that this entity thing or this wonder, I don't know how to explain it. I don't understand it. I believe it believes, or I can't explain it. I can tell you what the thing believes or not. What I do know, it rewards some and some it does not. And it's like there's so many questions, like why do babies die? Why do you even allow the mother to carry a child that's going to have a birth defect? Or why do you allow a child to come to this earth and not be allowed to live the life that they should live, or have the quality of life they should live? And if it's that generational curse thing, that's crazy. And so I gotta suffer for what my great grandmom did, because she was a motherfucker. So that means my great grandmom passed it down to my grandmom, and then my grandmom passed it down to my mother, and then my mother passed it down to me, which had nothing to do with either one of them heifers. That's crazy to me. Like even now, my great grandmom, she just turned 87, but my grandmom's no longer living. She had a pacemaker, and my mom is here, right? So it's like, damn, what kind of shit? What did my great grandmom do that made my grandmom have to watch or to know that her child is gone, but she's still here? Do you know how many people had to bury their children just in this year alone? I'm literally talking to this girl whose mother is about to pull the cord on their child, who's not even 10, I don't believe. Like, what? So there's a God that used to just turn up and make people go into slavery for 40 days and 40 nights and 40 years and 400 years. And what is the point? What is the point? I'm so lost. I have a relative that don't believe in God, and I feel like I don't blame him, because you seem to have a less stressful life. Because I think about if I'm going to hell every other day, literally, when I'm doing good, doing bad, or doing nothing. I'm like, damn, wouldn't it be fucked up if God came back and I went to hell? I seen niggas floating up to this said resurrection, and I'm just sitting here. It's so much easier to be an atheist, because you're just like, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. Now, what I am going to say is shout out to that relative, because, listen, I'm not going to say you're right or wrong for not believing in God, but what I will say, his life don't look like it's missing a fucking thing. He has friends and loved ones and a marriage and just a nice big house and a great job. Like, seems like he's doing pretty good to me. Meanwhile, I'm over here talking about, Lord, I'm trying to read this Bible app, even though you know my attention span is of a fucking squirrel. Lord, I'm trying to remember to pray to you, even though you know my attention span is a fucking squirrel. Lord, I'm asking, can you help me have the capacity and the heart and the mind to chase after you and seek you, so I can follow after you and be like you and spread whatever it is, be the vessel that you need me to be. However, I would much rather look at other things on the internet. Like, I'm just confused on how I have this weight on my head of what I'm supposed to be and how I'm designed to be, but I can't figure it out. You give us the blueprint, but it's not in the right language. That's what I feel like. I feel like my prayers get answered every 3 to 5 business years. I feel like God has me on Do Not Disturb. I feel like God knows every hair on my head, but I have not alopecia. What's that thing called? I have scalp psoriasis. So, does he really know? Like, I'm just so lost. I am lost. I'm baffled. I'm incomplete because there's nothing no one could tell me to make me believe that there is not a higher being of thing that is unexplainable. Because if not, that means if that being does not exist, that means the universe is literally controlled by our minds. That means everything that I thought was done by God was done by me and by the powers to be of the universe that allowed me to be in the right place at the right time. This is too confusing. I don't want to go to hell because I'm freaking retarded, or I can't comprehend that the Bible is by all, right by all. That's bullshit. I'm not believing that Bible shit. I'm just sorry. I just don't believe a God that's supposed to be I'm not going to say self-absorbed, but let the Bible tell it. When we go to heaven, the ones that's going to make it, guess what our life is going to consist of? Worshiping the being for the rest of our life. That means hands and knees. That fucking terrified me as a child, hearing that in church. No offense to God, but it's like, damn. Like, we can't just praise you 12 hours a day like a job and have 12 hours to ourselves in the heaven that means we're not even going to get to enjoy the streets of gold and the many mansions or whatever's in heaven, because we're going to be on our knees until, I guess they won't bleed in eternity, but we're going to be on our knees for all eternity just praying. That sounds crazy as hell. That sounds fucking absurd. That sounds like selfish as hell. Like, what? Now, if that's where we're going and that's what the agenda is, like, damn, I need to go on a few more cruises and, just take God with me and pray the whole time. But I can't gather my mind of dying. Who knows if it's going to be a peaceful death or a harmful death, or like, who knows how we're going to go. But when we go, everybody don't always go so peaceful. So imagine going somewhere and then being thrown into an abyss because there's nothing. Or imagine being thrown into a hot, fiery waiting room until it's time to be thrown into the pits of hell to be tortured for all eternity. Or going to heaven, letting God display your entire life in front of the long cajillion billion of other people who's praying their name is in this big old book of the Lord. And this sounds scary as fuck. I'm just going to go up to God or an angel, and they're going to be like, oh, so we're going to go back to chapter 1 when you came out to Coochie. Chapter 20, whatever, where you were a prostitute. Oh, yeah, let's not forget the time you stole from your mom and you were in middle school? Or were you in elementary? I can't remember. Oh, let's remember, like, all of this is going to be, so you're judging me in front of the entire congregation of people that made it to heaven? That sounds a bit judgy to me. Why are people going to watch me be either accepted or descended to hell? That is crazy. That sounds fucked up. Okay, so let me get this straight. And then if you make it into the gates of heaven, you're gonna see the streets of gold. You're gonna see the mountains and you're gonna see everything. But you're not gonna have a social life in heaven with your peers that made it with you. You're not gonna be able to enjoy the music of the angels or the fine dining of heaven cuisine. No. You're going to be on your fucking knees for the rest of your everlasting spirit lifetime praying to the Lord. That sounds selfish. Sounds a little self-absorbed. And I know if there's any Christians that are just downright into the Bible and into what oh my God, you just said some shit, you're blaspheming, I can't listen to you. I apologize that I offended your ears. However, I mean everything I'm saying. I'm confused. The Bible says, every time you say something, the Bible says, well, the Bible says. That's what my mom's favorite thing to say. Well, the Bible says, and blah, blah, and I'm like, all right, Mom. Yeah, amen. Just like the same people that say they're Christians, they get under people like T.S. Madison. Y'all know I am a cheerleader for that lady. But people get under her posts and talk the most hateful, evil, mean things they could say to her, calling her by her what they call a dead name, calling her an abomination, passing judgment, and doing all the dirty things that people of the world are only supposed to be known to do. But yet you're claiming Christianity, but you're doing these things, and you're doing them out of what? Hate and judgment. And those are the people you're telling me going to get into heaven because they're writers for the Lord. We call them Bible thumpers. Those are people that are going around thumping people in the head with the Bible and say, you better fucking listen or else you're going to the hot brummery place of fucking hell. Bitch, I thought you had no heaven or hell to put me in. How the hell you gonna tell me I'm going to hell? That doesn't make any goddamn sense, now does it? Anyway, shout out to the people who believe in God. Shout out to the people that just believe life is what it is, and when you go, and you just may never know, and still continue to be a good person. Because one thing I can say about that family member that don't believe in God, I can tell they have a good heart. I can tell they mean well, and they have a great spirit about them that I believe if there is a heaven, they're going to be there. Even though they have said they don't believe in God, even though they say in the Bible, you have to confess with your mouth that you believe in God, and that's how you'll get in, or whatever the case may be. Well, guess what? I believe that if there is a God, that my belief is my belief, just like your belief is your belief. And I believe that if there's a being up there or around there that's not like man, because we're the ones who flawed. We're the one who can't let go of people's past. We're the one who judge people by their preference, even if it's not causing harm to society or others. We're the ones who condemn people for being happy the way they're happy. The only people we should be condemning is serial killers, murderers, and motherfucking pedophiles. That's it. Everybody else should be able to live their life as long as they are, and racist. Let's not forget the motherfucking racists. That group of people could burn. Racists, pedophiles, and murderers and serial killers, they all could go in a pot of hell together. Now, those are the people that should be, God don't love them. God don't love. Yeah, those people. Those people. Just like Ty Tribbett said, come out of homosexuality. Come out, but then turn around, get on the internet and say, the Breakfast Club, and say he don't believe in church. I'm so sorry. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in church. I don't believe in the Bible. But I do believe there is a higher being, a better purpose and a cause. A better purpose and a cause. I do believe we are here to experience life as the Bible depicted Jesus, even though I don't think Jesus was wool-haired and then turned into a white man like Michael Jackson. I don't get that. But anyway, I'm about to wrap this episode up because I've been talking and I've technically repeated myself to the best of my ability, because I remember I was trying to duplicate the first episode, which I felt had more comedic relief, and I felt the pressure was there to be a better episode because it was fresh off my chest and off my dome. It was like me freestyling the best rap that would get me millions, and then, like I said, going to the studio talking about beep boop beep beep boop boop bop shoobity dop bop boop bop wow. You like, that's not what the fuck we heard on the microphone on the street performance, but okay, she's had a brain fart. We're gonna pull this one. That's literally what's going on right now, because I thought I was pretty funny. I told y'all I'm gonna go and do stand-up comedy at some point. Even if I get booed, I don't give a damn. There's people that don't like me in real life. So strangers booing me, and maybe I should start on the internet first and then make it to the comedy club. But yeah, I just want y'all to know that there is a God, there is a being, and yeah, I got a couple of questions, like why are children born with mental illness and birth defects, and why are children born stillborn, and why are children born into a life with parents that are going to cause them harm or abuse them? Why are people in poverty that have invested their life savings into something or someone that was either related to church or whatever? I have a close friend that stated their their aunt totally believed in church, lived by the church, put her all in the church, and she was facing eviction, and there was nothing the church did for her. Y'all know that pastor out in New York that scammed someone's grandmom for her life savings, and he's currently doing time in jail now. But it's like, Lord, why did you make the serial killer rappers? Why or not even when they say we are given free will? It's a lot of things, because it's so confusing to me. How are you going to give us free will and expect us to do the right thing, but you say, or it says in the Bible, that the flesh is never going to do right? We're always going to have the temptations, but God is supposed to deliver us from the temptations. So why do you allow some of us to be weak enough to not be able to fight the temptation that cause our demise, or give us the consequences that are not always the best? Why is there a government doing the things that they're doing to the people they're doing it to? There's so many questions about this God that we serve or supposed to serve. Like, I'm so lost, and I'm gonna come back to y'all. I'm gonna pray about it. I'm ask God to give me a revelation, give me something to bring back to y'all, because typically when I do ask for some type of vision to see what it is that I'm asking about, like how to forgive my mother, how to move on from this situation, I can say what I believe in, the better of this world, the best of this world, the one who wants the best. And then what is this universe thing? Is it really the universe? Is this really just a subconscious? Are we all just Jesuses walking around experimenting with our life, trying to either one, walk like him, talk like him, or be the total opposite? Because I don't know. I'm not going to hold y'all. I really don't know. In this episode, I apologize for it being everywhere, but I feel I made my fucking point, which is, do you boo-boo, as long as it's not harming the community or yourself. And when I say yourself, don't be out here living in delusion and hurting yourself by crying every night about a person that don't care about you. That could be family, friends, relatives, it don't matter. Well, that is saying family and relatives, but you get where I'm going with it. Now I'm just rambling a little bit, rambling. But again, shout out to my mom for pushing me out the cooch. She was a real one, because she could have aborted me, or, you know what they say, hot tui, or whatever. I don't even know how that happened, the conception part. My mom might have not even did the hot tui while I was conceived. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. But what I do want to say is, if you believe in something, hold on to it and don't allow anyone to deter you from it if that's what comforts you. Now, unless you believe in the devil and Satan and shit, and dark magic, then I would suggest you look elsewhere, honey, because I've never heard of a happy person that was worshiping the devil. I've never heard of a happy person that was a Satanist or a bad witch. They usually start looking old, young, and they are not too friendly, or they don't have many friends unless they're, with other. Yeah, there's a difference from being an atheist and a person that just, like, I know my relative does not worship Satan because he don't believe in God. He's just living his life as he sees fit, because why wouldn't you at this point? As long as you have morals and values and good intentions and love in your heart, I feel that God may give you a hall pass if this heaven is really real. And I just pray that if heaven is really real, that I make it in, and my loved ones make it in, and you make it in, if your heart is in the right place and you're not out here killing, molesting, or stalking anyone. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm still upset about that last episode, because I really, truly wished it was recorded. It probably would have made a lot of people mad or whatever, but it's really what I felt. And again, this episode isn't too different. It's just I think I was more biblical diving in the last episode, and this time I was just more so doing references. Um, yeah. So I'm done. You guys won't hear me say anymore. I'm not redoing this bitch because this was a good 45 plus minutes. But I do agree to continue to be striving to be in my purpose, and I would say the same for you. Strive to be in your purpose. Do what makes you happy, that you're passionate about, and even if you put it down for a little bit due to life experiences or events, it's going to be okay, babes. It's going to be okay. You're going to be able to bounce back. You just got to believe in yourself. Just like you believe in God, you need to believe in yourself. Now, I'm not saying, believe that you are God. Don't put that in my mouth. I'm just saying, just like you believe that God can do for you, believe you can do for yourself. And believe that if there is a God and you do believe in God, that He will have it will have your back. And that it will supply you with the things that you are striving to do because you're putting in the work to do it. And that's really all I got to say about that. I just know that God is good for what of Him I do know. And to the universe, I don't know what the fuck going on, but shout out to life. Shout out to being able to open thine eyes, regardless if the vision is there or not, because I would rather be here and be blind than be here and be not here. Oh damn, that didn't make sense, but you get where I'm trying to go. I'd rather be here and blind than not be here at all, because life has a lot to offer, and I feel that live it to the best of your ability that you can, as long as you try. Like right now, I complain about the littlest shit, and I complain about all the things I want and don't have. But when I really sit down and think about it, I have a lot of things that people don't have that I'm just looking at, oh, that's regular. And sometimes people will talk to you and make you believe like, okay, you should just be happy with that. Or they'll make you feel like, well, I mean, you don't have this and you don't have that. Fuck them. Accept what is and just strive for what you want and what will be. Like, I am striving to get out of this housing. I said housing. I'm not in housing, but I'm striving to get out of this apartment complex. I'm striving to get into my own home, and I don't care if I'm 40 at the time. It's going to happen, and it will happen, and it's already happening. It's in the works. I just have to put in the work. And with that being said, let's all claim the things that we need and claim the things that we desire. I desire love. I desire peace. I need love. I need peace. I need God, and I desire to seek after Him in the proper manner and not just fumble or rely on this Bible. Even though, again, I don't fool with the Bible like that, but as I also stated, I do use it as a reference. If ever I need comfort, or I need some type of reference to what I'm going through, what I'm dealing with, to let you know, the Bible will show you stories, because again, the people were human. So they were regular people. They just lived, some of them lived a lot longer than we will. So they have a lot of different experiences. And in the Bible, it just kind of gives you their story, and you can relate to what's going on now. Again, Samson, that's the easiest one. This nigga got backdoored. I know a lot of people. I've watched a lot of different terrible, sad, tragic, fatal situations where people got backdoored, all because they were lusting. So the Bible talks about not lusting. Now, when the Bible talks about supposedly the sin of man and man, listen, I'm not homophobic, or I really don't care. I don't love anybody less for what their preferences are, as far as in gender identity or preference of fornication. I don't care. And I feel like if we're made in God's image, He wouldn't care. And from what the Bible says, He just wants us to love each other and love Him. So why is it the same people that are preaching love is preaching hate at the same time? Ty Tribbett literally said he don't believe in a church, but that's where he started. And I get some churches are bad, and a lot of them are greedy, but I truly believe in my heart there are churches with the heart of God in them. It's just a lot that aren't. So to say I don't fuck with church at all would be a lie. But the last time I've been to church, it has been a minute. And at the end of the day, I know that's something that I would have to do my due diligence. If I want to go back to church, I have to do my research and go and feel the presence, if the presence of the Lord comes there, and what they got going on, and if I feel that it's right for my spiritual growth. Now, when it comes to religion, I don't really fuck with that. That's why I would encourage a non-denominational church. It doesn't have to be all hippity boppity boop, but yeah, I'm not with the cult leadership shit. I'm not with that. So yeah, that. And if you feel like, listen, let me tell you another thing. God is not going to stunt your blessing for not giving your tithes. I repeat, He is not. Your tithes can be giving, an action of giving in different forms. It could be your time or your money. If you don't have a lot of money, donate your time to helping and understanding and working and assisting in your community or for other people. That's it. That's all. That's that simple. And when it comes to going to church, don't feel obligated to feel like you have to give your life savings to get a blessing from God, because that's bullshit. Oh, you sow $100 seed and watch God turn it to tenfold. When, nigga, this is not income tax. It's not guaranteed either, because income tax ain't always guaranteed. I'll be thinking I'm getting taxes and they take my fucking money. So what are we talking about here? And you want me to give you my rent money, or give you a portion of my rent money, and pray that it's going to work out in my favor when it's time for rent? Their office does not want to hear that I gave my $100 that was supposed to be on my rent to the church because the pastor said God's going to do for you. That sounds like someone trying to sell some bullshit. Sounds like TikTok ads to me. But whatever. Anyway, I'm really going to let y'all go this time, because y'all know I can sizzle. And I can talk. Fast forward, I'm still going to say it. Good talk. But it felt good to get this off my chest. It felt good to start back doing what I enjoy doing. And it felt good to talk to myself, honey, because I really don't have no friends out here. I've been trying, but Michigan ain't really been feeling me, I guess. And they feeling me, and I don't like how they feeling me. They feeling on me. I don't want them to feel on me. I want them to feel me. You feel me? But anyway, y'all stay up. Stay what I like to call blessed. And, yeah. Oh yeah, and don't forget us to add us on social media. I be forgetting. I need to be better at this marketing shit. I need to really be talking about it all throughout the podcast, or at least the beginning and the end. So if y'all don't stick around, y'all at least know I did try, and I did. Because some people attention spans like mine. They like, girl, you talk a lot. And it's hard. It's hard. I get it. But I gotta do it just to say I did it, okay? I gotta do it just to say I did it. So for our Instagram, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram. The Instagram is I just got on Instagram. First thing I see is hips and ass, and I'm not even trying to be on that type time. Okay, so the first thing on Instagram, our Instagram is HFT. That stands for Healing from Trauma, just for the people in the back. Anyway, that's for HFT_podcast. Again, for Instagram, follow us. That's HFT_podcast. And if you have something you would like to discuss or talk about on the Healing from Trauma podcast, I would love to collaborate, baby. Okay, so then for our Facebook, because you know we got a motherfucking face.